Welcome to Down Home Dietitian. Today we're talking snacks, when to eat them, what to eat, and how to make sure it gets you to your next meal. So a lot of my clients have questions about snacks. Should I eat them? Should I try to avoid them? What's the deal? So it's pretty simple. Let your hunger cues determine whether or not you eat a snack. If you feel hungry, that's your body telling you, hey, I used up all the energy you gave me at our last meal, and I'm gonna need a little bit more to get us to the next one. So if you're getting hungry and there's still a couple hours until your next meal, you need a snack. Easy as that. Don't be afraid to eat a snack. If your body is hungry, it's asking for energy that it's going to need and use right now. So you don't have to worry that eating an extra snack when you're hungry is going to make your body store extra fat. It's just not going to happen. So you've decided it's time to eat a snack. I'm going to eat a snack. What do I eat? There are two kinds of physical hunger signs that our body uses to tell us that it's time to be hungry and time to eat. And we want to address both of those things to get you to your next meal without getting hungry. So there's physical hunger. That is, your stomach is physically empty. You can feel kind of that pit in your stomach starts growling. You are physically hungry because there's nothing in your stomach. There's also biochemical hunger, which is your stomach has digested all your food, you've absorbed the nutrition from it, and your blood sugar is starting to gradually decrease. So your blood sugar is basically your body's gas gauge. How much fuel do we have left in the tank? As it starts to dump, your body's going to say, oh, must be time to fuel up again. So both of those things send hormones and neurotransmitters up to your brain and back out to your body to tell you that it's time to eat again. So when we look at creating a satisfying snack, we want to choose a snack that's going to address both physical hunger and biochemical hunger for the next couple of hours. So physical hunger is going to need something that takes a little while to digest and is going to stay in your stomach for a couple of hours. So choosing something that's a slower digesting food, like a protein, is a great idea because it's going to stick around for long enough to make it to your next meal. We also want to choose something that's going to address your biochemical hunger by raising your blood sugar up a little bit to give you energy to make it all the way to your next meal. Those foods, and the only foods that will raise blood sugar directly like this, are carbohydrates. Because carbohydrates are anything that by definition is made up of pieces of glucose that will break down and get absorbed and go into our bloodstream and become blood sugar. So we want to get a little bit of protein and a little bit of carbohydrate, ideally some complex carbohydrate. If you're not sure about the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates, check the link in the description for an article I've written about the difference between the two and why you should choose a complex carbohydrate as opposed to a simple carbohydrate. So ideally, we're going to go for a little bit of complex carbohydrate to boost up that blood sugar, and pair that with a little bit of protein, because carbohydrates, even complex carbohydrates, digest pretty quickly. So we want to pair them with something like a protein that takes a bit longer to digest. The protein is actually going to slow down how quickly we absorb the carbohydrate so that the whole snack, biochemically and physically, makes it the distance all the way to our next meal. So what are some good examples? Some good examples of complex carbohydrates that you might use in your snacks could be whole fruits, fresh, dried, canned, especially canned in juice rather than syrup, and yogurt. Yogurt's a nifty blend, especially a Greek yogurt, of some carbohydrate and the protein kind of all in one. You could also go for a whole grain like popcorn, whole grain crackers like Triscuits or Wheat Thins, whole grain chips like Sun Chips. Any of those can be a great option for the carbohydrate portion of your snack. And for the protein portion, You can choose things like nuts, seeds, nut butters like peanut butter or almond butter, deli meat or jerky, or cheese. Any of those options have enough protein to satisfy the protein portion of a snack and pair them up with a nice complex carbohydrate. Some of my favorite snacks are Triscuits or Wheat Thins with some cheese, tortilla chips with salsa mixed with cottage cheese or Greek yogurt for the protein, or nuts with some dried fruit for a good trail mix, or an apple with some peanut butter. But the possibilities are endless. You can play around with any kind of protein and complex carb combination that you like, and you can do anything from hard-boiled eggs with fruit to leftovers. Some snacks are combo options like Greek yogurt. It's got enough protein and enough carb to satisfy both aspects of this equation. You can also find the same thing in hummus. It's going to have some protein and some carbohydrates. You can find that also in some bars. Now, people really like bars for their convenience. Some of them are kind of tricky as far as being an appropriate option for a snack as opposed to a meal. And also, a lot of them are really loaded with simple carbohydrates as opposed to complex carbohydrates, which are going to last longer and not cause your blood sugar to spike really quickly and tank. So how much of each thing are we looking for? That really, really depends, and I'm going to have to give you an answer that's a little bit unclear. So I can give you a standard amount, but I want to always override it with your hunger is your driving force. You should always honor your hunger and satiety cues when you're deciding how much to eat. Don't let numbers override what your body's trying to tell you. That being said, typically aiming for somewhere from 15 to 30 grams of complex carbohydrate with 8 to 10 grams of a protein makes for a pretty good balanced snack. And that's about it. Make sure that when you're hungry, you eat a snack if you haven't got a meal on the schedule for a couple of hours. Make sure you get a little bit of protein, a little bit of complex carb, and make sure you eat until you're satisfied. Let me know your favorite snack in the comments. Join me next time. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and don't forget, healthy doesn't have to be hard.